Hello, listeners. Welcome again to the Student Pilot Cast, Episode 5, Coyote Ugly. I think I've got some pretty good content for this episode. Today we get our first listen to some significant in-cockpit audio, and I'll almost catch you up to where I'm at in my training. I'll get you to at least my phase check for Phase 1.
Chandler Ground, Cherokee 4121 Tango, Chandler Air Service Taxi for South Departure with Kilo.
To be an angel. Where does the sun go when it sleeps? Is every star that...
I'm glad to be producing another episode today. I've got a lot of lesson catching up to do, so we should get started. First, you may be wondering about the title of this episode, Coyote Ugly. Well, you're just going to have to wait for that to make sense. First, though, let me get everyone up to speed. I ended the last podcast with 6.6 hours. You may recall from an earlier episode that I was assigned an instructor who does not work on Saturdays, and Saturdays is a good day for me to get a lesson in. So we had planned on me sometimes flying with a different instructor on some Saturdays. The lesson that got me to that 6.6 hours was just such a flight. So before moving on to the next lessons, I want to talk about that for a minute. First, though, I'm going to throw out a question. How do you guys feel about switching instructors like that? I mean, not really switching, but using a different instructor sometimes. Some people probably feel like it'll prolong the training a bit, but it may be good for a different perspective or a different style, etc. Personally, I'm not sure about the first point. It probably does extend it a little, but I'm not sure. But the latter point seems right on the money. I felt like I learned quite a bit flying with a different instructor as his style was different. He taught a few things differently, which can help. And I think getting this extra experience was good for me. If you have a comment or opinion on this, though, please email me or reply with a comment on the website to this episode. My email is bill@studentpilotcast.com, and the website can be found at www.studentpilotcast.com. Before we move on too far, I want to thank those of you who have responded with comments and feedback. I heard from a few of you that you'd like some in-cockpit audio in these casts, so I'm going to start including more of that. Maybe more today than will be the norm, but I have a little catching up to do, so you'll have to bear with me. If you don't like it, if you do like it, if you want more, if you want less, etc., please let me know so I can fine-tune the cast to be more interesting to all of you. I can't make it better if I don't get feedback from you. Besides, it makes my day when I hear from any of you that are listening, and of course it's all about me, right? Now, if this were an email or in a forum, I'd be putting that little smiley face there. So, moving on, partially due to the feedback that I received, I'm going to take you along with me for portions of my flights. I fly out of a moderately busy airport that has a high concentration of training going on, so the control tower is pretty busy sometimes. I may let the audio run a bit so you can get a feel for the traffic that's around, but other times, while creating an audio picture for you about what's going on, I may remove dead air or irrelevant chatter for the sake of time and boringness, if that's a word. So when it seems like I just turned crosswind and then I'm suddenly on final, you'll know why. I'll try to make it easy to follow, and I won't just let it run too long, hopefully. So beware, though, that with cockpit audio included, my episodes may tend to run a little longer than usual. Let's get started then with that flight that brought me to 6.6 hours, which happened with Justin as my CFI. As my 7-year-old put it, I had a substitute that day. I'll start you off with listening to ATIS on the ramp and the call to ground to get taxi clearance to the active runway. Listen carefully, though, to a revelation that my, quote, substitute makes to me while we're taxiing.
Those airmen will pull instructions in the vicinity of Chandler Airport up to 310 feet AGL. All VFR departures advise ground control. Flight, advise information. Channel target information. Time 1447 Zulu 0604. Weather better than 5005. Temperature 14, dew point -3, altimeter 2983. Visual approach and use, landing and departing runways 4 left and 4 right. Those airmen multiple instructions in the vicinity of Chandler Airport up to 310 feet AGL. All VFR departures advise ground control your direction of flight. Advise initial contact, you have information Yankee. Channel target is information Yankee. Time 1447 Zulu. Wind 0604. Weather better than 5005. Temperature 14, dew point -3.
Oh, it's right here. There you go.
Chandler Ground, Cherokee 628 Sierra Mike has Yankee, and we want to stay in the pattern.
Cherokee 628, sir, Mike Chandler ground, touch and goes or taxi backs?
Touch and goes. Touch and go, sir. Thank you. 8 Sierra Mike.
Cherokee 628, sir, Mike Chandler ground, taxi to runway 4 left.
Taxi to runway 4 left. 8 Sierra Mike.
Cherokee 1188,
All right.
Chandler ground, ready up.
88 Tango, yes.
Cherokee 88 Tango, are you ready to taxi? You're blocking the entrance to the taxiway for 2 aircraft behind you.
I am ready to taxi to the active with Yankee.
When was the last time you flew?
Thursday.
Okay.
I'm trying to get in 3 a week.
Did Brian already tell you he's not going to be here past another week and a half?
No.
Okay, he's not going to be here past another week and a half.
Got himself a job, huh?
Yeah.
Yep, you heard it here first. My CFI is leaving. Very interesting. More on this later, though. For now, let's get back to the flight. This day, as you probably heard, we'd be staying in the pattern for touch and goes. And heaven knows I need work on my landings, so that's a good thing. Let's skip ahead to finishing the run-up. Justin talks a bit about how international the training is in Arizona. As some of you may know, we have a lot of training that goes on here, and much of it is ab initio, which literally means from the beginning training for foreign carriers.
Yes, it's the Germans. The Germans are there. Yes.
The Germans?
Yeah, Lufthansa. Now we've got the UN that flies in Arizona. We got the Lufthansa, the German school, Oxford, the British school. We get a lot of Chinese and Koreans out of Pan Am.
As AT Tango traffic heading to your right is a Seneca
And then,
turning left going northbound, right turn approved to the southeast behind that Seneca.
Sabina is all Pakistanis and
After the
Indians.
Seneca, right turn approved, one of the 42 Tango. But as a 42 Tango behind the Seneca, turn to the right southeast, that traffic to your head to your right's going north. Behind the Seneca, turn right, but after 42 Tango. Thanks. As a 42 Tango, start your right turn to the southeast. Stopping right turn, 42 Tango. Cherokee 8 Sierra Mike, make left traffic, runway 4 left, clear for takeoff.
Said make left.
Mm-hmm.
Left traffic, cleared for takeoff, 8 Sierra Mike.
There you go.
We did a couple of touch and goes while Justin talked me through it. He gave me some tips like not over-controlling, looking down the runway further, etc., which is, of course, easier said than done, but eventually it started to pay off. Before that payoff, though, Justin notes where I'm going wrong.
Now, what's happening is this. You fly the plane really well. I'm feeling you're using the rudders like you should. The turns are all good. They're nice and crisp. You don't do any sort of what we like to call herky-jerky in the sky. Where you're doing it is where you're getting down and you're turning on the final. And for whatever reason, you start doing this. Okay? Don't. Just, it's just nice and smooth, man. Everything's a little subtle. And everyone does the same thing. I did it. Everyone did it. We like to have our controls. And all of a sudden, when we're low, we start kind of getting a little bit nervous. And we start kind of doing it. You don't have to do it. The plane will fly itself, man. That's why we trim it up. Whenever you put in change pitch and power, you have to trim it up. So now we're going to get the final. You're going to trim it up, and you're going to fly most of the final with your hands off the yoke.
Okay.
All right.
Like I said, though, it does start to pay off. So take a listen to this.
Oh, real smooth, man. Just keep driving it down. Don't do anything even with the power yet. Just keep coming. Everything's good. Just nice and smooth. Relax. 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 Start bringing the power back. Round it out. Look 2/3 down the runway, man. Start working the nose up. Easy. Easy. Now start pulling back smoothly. Pull back smooth. 2/3 down the runway. Force yourself. 2/3 down that runway. That was all you, dude. I didn't do jack crap. Flaps out. First, flaps out. Then throttle. That was all you. Good job.
Cool.
Yeah.
And we did another touch and go, and I just love the description that we give to a good, relaxed landing while we're on short final. Justin equates it to the singer, which you've probably heard of, and I give the impression of him just before touchdown. It seemed to work, too, and it made me smile, so that's what's important.
Just think smooth thoughts.
Creamy yogurt.
There you go. Barry White type landing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's it, man. Oh, round it out. Easy. Yeah, take your time. Powered idle. Now start working the yoke back. Now look 2/3 down the runway, man. 2/3 down the runway. Look 2/3 down the runway. 2/3 down the runway. Beautiful. Flaps out. Good lad. Nice. See what I mean? If you look 2/3 down the runway, and you'll naturally bring yourself where you need to be in the position.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah, that's nice. And as you also see, if you smooth things out a little bit, it makes things a lot easier on yourself. Good. That's great.
During the next trip around the pattern, I was telling Justin about what an aviation nerd I've been all of my life, even though I never took the time to get my ticket. He explained that many of the pilots he knows, including himself, are like that, and he proceeded to tell me that when he was a kid, he knew all of the planes in the military and all of their specs, etc. So I guess I'm not the only one after all. Even I wasn't that bad. He then told me about a pilot friend of his. She once told him that there are two kind of pilots.
There's a gal who's a friend of mine, and she says pilot. She's a pilot herself, and she goes pilots fall into one of two categories, either geeks or assholes. Sometimes you get a combination, but usually it's one or the other.
As we were flying around the pattern some more, I learned a few more interesting things, some of which won't help me on my check ride, but were interesting nonetheless. One of Justin's loves is backcountry flying in a Cub. He told me about a video series called Big Rocks, Long Props, and that I should look it up on YouTube for some previews. I did, and he was right. If you haven't seen some of this stuff, you owe it to yourself to take a look. If not, just buy all of the DVDs. I found a few more resources as well, including these YouTube videos that he was talking about, and you can find those by doing a search on YouTube for Big Rocks, Long Props. I also found a website called cubdriver749er.com. That's cubdriver, the digits 749, and then er.com. And also www.bigrockslongprops.com, where you can buy the videos that he was referring to. It's amazing stuff these guys are doing, so don't forget to check it out. I'll put links in the show notes as well on www.studentpilotcast.com. One of the last things he did was demonstrate for me a turning slip after getting a clearance for a short approach. Essentially, he started a forward slip when he was abeamed the numbers and then turned it into a turning slip as he kind of did a 180 while slipping to the numbers. It was pretty cool to get in that fast. We did one more landing after that. Unfortunately, it was kind of a skipper. And then I went a little too hard on the brakes, and I think I made Justin nervous.
Round it out more. Now take your time. We're just a little fast. Relax. Yeah. And slowly start pulling the nose out. Look 2/3 down the runway. Force yourself. Easy. Easy. Hold it. All right. Not bad. Yeah, not bad. Flaps out. Slowly on the brakes. If we don't make this one, we'll go to the next one. All the way back on the yoke. All the way back on the yoke. And slowly on the brakes. We'll go to Lima. Oh, no. Easy. Right. On the brakes. Slowly.
Channel Airport 8 is information.
One smooth motion on the brakes.
2983.
On the brakes even more.
Cherokee 8 Sierra Mike, taxi to ramp monitor ground. Good day.
I got it. Okay. To the ramp monitor ground, 8 Sierra Mike. Okay, come across here, and then we can come to a stop so we can do our checklist. Sure. So go to a full stop. There you go. All right, so our checklist is right here.
Okay, flaps up, car feet off, boost pump off, unnecessary electric
just
off.
leave that on.
Okay. Standby.
There you go.
Extra lean taxi.
Yep.
And contact ground.
What you want me to do? Right, but switch over to COM 1. Okay, let's go. Good job, man. That was good. I mean, you did about, 5-6 landings completely by yourself. And actually 3 of those were pretty decent landings. So no worries at all, man. That last one that we did, you actually touched down fine, and then you raised your touchdown, you pulled up again. So we actually came airborne. But it wasn't bad. We came right back down again. So not bad at all, man. That's good.
Just wanted to get an extra one in.
Hey, why not?
I'm trying to make sure I include most of my mistakes in this audio, if for no other reason than to embolden the average student who thinks they must be the worst student pilot in the history of the world. I think we all think that from time to time. At least those who listen to my cast will know that there's at least one other person who's just as bad. That was about it for that day's lesson. It was overall a good day, and I felt like I made a lot of real progress. It also brought news, though, about my instructor leaving, which brought up question marks as to the continuity of my training as well. While I knew I'd get a new instructor assigned, it still leaves lots of questions, including scheduling issues in the transition, what the new CFI style would be, etc. Basically, all of the issues I had when I was first starting were back. And the big elephant in the room, of course, was the fact that this change would definitely cost me some money, through no fault of my own. So I'd be very interested to hear from any of you on your experiences and or your opinions on situations like this, which I realize are not uncommon. Okay, so moving on. I then did 3 lessons in 3 days the following week in preparation for my stage check, which would be done, by the chief instructor and was scheduled for the following Saturday, so 1 week from the flight you just heard with Jason. All of the lessons that I had leading up to the stage check were with Brian, my outgoing CFI. Here we are getting ATIS and taxiing while we talk about him leaving.
Chandler Tower, information Golf, time 1547 Zulu. Wind variable at 3, visibility 20, sky clear. Temperature 180, dew point -06, altimeter 29904. Visual approaching use, landing and departing, runways 4, left and right. Notice airmen, multiple obstructions in the vicinity of Chandler Airport up to 310 feet AGL. All departures advise ground control direction of flight. Use caution for bird activity in the vicinity of Chandler Airport. Read back all hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have Golf. Chandler Tower, information Golf.
Chandler Ground, Cherokee 628 Sierra Mike is at Chandler Air Service, and we want a south departure, and we have Golf.
Cherokee 628 Sierra Mike, Chandler Ground, taxi to runway 4 left.
Taxi to runway 4 left, 8 Sierra Mike.
Was your week?
Oh, it was good.
Yeah.
Good flying on Saturday.
Yeah. Justin said you did a real good job there on the landings. You're looking real good. Yeah, he told you about the job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You excited?
Yeah, I am. I'm pretty psyched. I'm a little nervous about getting through training. It's going to be a lot of information in a short period of time.
Yeah. I heard that this is kind of stringent on their training, too.
They are. They're known as one of the toughest, which doesn't coincide with what you get paid when you're done with it.
It's just another step.
Yeah.
A few minutes later, we were ready to go. And Brian had told me that we'd be doing ground reference maneuvers for the first time, so I'd been studying them to prepare, but I hadn't done any of them yet. But first things first, here we are at 4 left at Chandler, getting clearance and taking off.
Yeah, we'll pull up, make a call. We'll make a call right now because these guys are going to call too.
Oh, all right. Chandler Tower, Cherokee 628 Sierra Mike is at 4 left, ready for departure for south.
Cherokee 628 Sierra Mike, Chandler Tower, hold short of runway 4 left, departing traffic.
Hold short 4 left, 8 Sierra Mike.
Cherokee 8 Sierra Mike, runway 4 left, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 4 left, 8 Sierra Mike.
At the window there.
While we were heading out to the practice area and getting set up for ground reference maneuvers, Brian started going over some of it.
So you enter it just like you enter a pattern, right? We need to figure out where the wind's coming from, so we know what our downwind, upwind, crosswind legs are. And then we enter on a 45 to the downwind, and the idea is to maintain altitude. That's a key factor, and then keeping an equal distance on all sides of the rectangle. So in the base and crosswind legs, you're going to have a crosswind that's going to want to blow you off. So you have to put in a wind correction angle. Today we're not going to see any of that because we don't have any wind. There might be a little breeze, but it's not going to really be obvious. Like I got an ag plane down there doing some spraying.
Oh, yeah.
Then while we were actually starting the first maneuver, there was a plane in the vicinity that we'd been watching, and he kept getting closer and closer and was just kind of buzzing around, not really doing anything predictable. So we decided to abort the maneuver and move a little bit and start over.
Got some more traffic right out there.
Okay.
A couple miles.
Yep, I got them. Oh, well.
All the way to the end.
Yeah, this guy's going to be all over us here. I don't want to turn in. He's doing all kinds.
All right.
Let's make a left 180.
Once I got reestablished on the downwind for the ground reference maneuver I was going to be doing, I was looking again for that traffic, and I guess I coined a nickname off the top of my head for the other pilot.
What about Sir Turn-A-Lot? Where's he?
Yeah, I'm not sure. He was heading east last time I saw him.
You got to watch out for Sir Turn-A-Lot. So we completed the maneuvers, but for the sake of time, I'll skip the audio on that and take you back to the pattern with us as we approach Chandler again to land. One thing that you should know about Chandler is that there's always extensive helicopter training going on there, along with the fixed wing training that's going on there as well. 2 different schools, but a lot of training nonetheless. So when you're on downwind for the south runway, you're almost always flying over helicopters. So I guess it makes it that much more important to hold your traffic pattern altitude, I guess. Anyway, this day, one of those helos had a slight problem.
Chandler Tower, helicopter 76 Delta.
Helicopter 76 Delta, Channel Tower.
76 Delta, we got an overheating problem, lost some coolant here on Bravo. I'm going to have to call my people, see if they can bring some coolant out.
Helicopter 76 Delta, Roger, verify you're shutting down and you'd like somebody to come out and pick you up?
Yeah, affirmative.
Helicopter 76 Delta, Roger, and do you require any other assistance at this time?
No, that's negative.
Helicopter 76 Delta, Roger.
You guys are overheating.
Yeah.
So we finished that one up, and I had another flight the next day, which we stayed in the pattern to practice touch and goes. On our climb out that morning, Brian let me know about another crash at one of my other local airports, Falcon Field, or FFZ. See, on my discovery flight with Brian about a month before, there was another crash at Falcon Field. A 152 lost power and went down near a road after clipping some orchard trees. The CFI and the student in that crash bent the airplane up pretty good, but both walked away. This day, though, the pilot and 2 passengers of a Lancer were not so lucky.
Chandler Tower, Cherokee 81312 is at 22 right. Want to stay in the pattern for touch and goes?
Cherokee 81312, Chandler Tower, follow the Cherokee ahead in right close traffic, runway 22 right, clear for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff and right close traffic, 22 right, Cherokee 312.
So, closing the finals clear.
Wind 170 at 10.
Alright, so we keep, good, some aileron into the wind. It's going to want to pick that left wing up first, so you keep that in there like that. Then right at 60, straighten it, and pull. And then the right rudder comes in as you rotate. Hear about the crash out at Falcon this morning?
No. What happened?
A Lancer, Columbia Lancer.
Yeah.
Took off, had 3 people on board. They were going to Orange County. And I don't. It sounded like they blew a cylinder or something, but it lost power and went right into the groves out there.
Oh, jeez.
And burst into flames. 3 people killed.
Oh.
Very sad day for several families and for the local aviation community. I'll put a link to the preliminary NTSB report on this latest crash. We did some touch and goes, and I started to feel a little more comfortable with the landings. I'm starting to get it, but it wouldn't be until a few lessons later when it really clicked. But we'll get to that in a future cast. Right now, suffice it to say that we did some practice and got everything back in one piece. The next day was my last lesson before my stage check, and was the reason for this episode's title, so it'll make more sense in a little bit. We went out to do some air work and then back into the pattern for a couple of touch and goes. Here's some audio from the steep turns that we did. After that, Brian wanted to do an emergency procedure closer to the ground, so I got to do my first really long slip as well. Must have lasted about 90 seconds or so, or maybe it just seemed like that, since I actually started to tire a little bit holding everything crossed up like that. But take a listen.
Okay, we'll use 4,200 feet as our mark. And let's start to the left. And we'll roll right to 45 degrees of bank. Hold the back pressure in there to keep the nose on the horizon. A little steep there. Just go right between the two. Yeah, there we go. bank in there. Quite at 45, or not quite at our heading. They're right there, right rudder, right aileron, a little forward pressure so it doesn't climb, and then right into a right one. And then you add the back pressure again as you get into the bank. And just find that picture on the horizon.
Yeah, got it.
Looking good, man. That's what it's all about right here. You get it pegged and you hold it there. Beautiful. Yeah, you find that sweet spot and you just stick it there. It stays. Okay, then wings level and a little forward pressure so it doesn't climb on you. Good. Awesome. Yeah, once you find it there, you just stick it, and it'll just pivot right around.
Want to go quickly or just?
We could go quick. Fill the power and let's pitch for about 115.
Can we slip it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, try to track that center line, that section line there with a full slip. That nose pitch down, full right rudder, like that. Now let's go right into an opposite slip. Maintain that directional control.
Whoop.
Go. Dash left rudder, right aileron. Cool. Then we'll straighten it out.
20. Bouncy.
Yeah. Alright, we'll level off 25.
So we came back in, set up in the pattern, and did a touch and go. Then on our way back around the pattern, this was the activity on the radio. You'll also hear what sounds like a student dropping off his instructor for a solo. And I can't believe I'm going to be there soon as well. But before I take you back to the airplane, I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode. This will be the last segment for today of the podcast, and I'll bring you up to speed next time about my phase check, the changing of the guard, or the CFI in this case, and all of that goodness. If you have comments or suggestions, or just want to chat, feel free to drop me a line at bill@studentpilotcast.com or leave a comment on the website at www.studentpilotcast.com. I hope to hear from as many of you as are willing to take a minute and say hi. Now back to the plane.
Oh, just work it in there. Keep it close. Hold it off. Let it slow down. Back pressure. It's totally, that was a perfectly fine landing right there. It was the right attitude and everything.
It was?
It was a little hard just because of the way it just all of a sudden kind of stuck in there, but if we were in a Cessna, that would have felt perfect. It's because we have these sticky struts out here that...
Can I get a wind check? Wind 180 at 4.
Yeah, it's all about having the right attitude on the landing. That was it. You know, I had the nose up there, patient, holding it off.
Helicopter 815, taxiway Charlie, clear touch and go.
Clear touch and go 815.
Got some real shifty winds out there, so
yeah.
it's gonna... That's where it's real important to keep it nice and straight right over that center line, because winds will be shifting around on you.
Thing doesn't want to climb.
No.
Stars, Cessna 0 Charlie Lima, but we have full stop this time.
Cessna 0 Charlie Lima, roger.
Did he say full stop? Is that what he... Yeah.
The other guy did.
Yeah.
Delta 82 Charlie's on up point. Just to let you know there's either a Coyote or something crossing Charlie. Look like they're headed over to 22 left.
Nice.
Helicopter 82 Charlie, roger.
That would be a nasty surprise.
Yeah, we had this guy that sold Coyote last year at the same time. He would go out on the runway and lay on the runway.
And Helicopter 82 Charlie, about where was that Coyote at crossing?
It was in between November and Lima Sub.
Thank you.
Chandler Tower, helicopter 74815 would like to hover taxi over to the Lima Sub to drop the instructor off.
Helicopter 815 proceeds request to report clear of taxiway Charlie.
Yeah.
Roger, proceeding as requested. We'll report on clear of taxiway Charlie 815.
Cherokee 312, runway 22 left, clear touch and go, and helicopter reported Coyote possibly in the vicinity of runway 22 left between November and Lima.
Clear touch and go 22 left, 312.
Chandler Tower 815 is clear of taxiway Charlie.
Helicopter 815, thank you. Cessna 0 Charlie Lima, runway 22 left cleared to land.
22 left clear for land, Cessna 0 Charlie Lima.
Okay, a little low here, so we'll set the pitch. Don't want to keep pushing it in there, we'll kind of level it off.
Okay.
We get back on a good angle here, and then there we go, then we'll pitch it right to the
Chandler Tower, Archer 4133 kilos at 2,500, 5 miles south of the field, inbound for touch and goes, with information November.
Archer 4132 kilo, Chandler Tower, make left traffic, runway 22 left, report downwind.
Traffic, runway 22 left, Wilco, 4133 kilo.
Yeah. Real patient, don't let it float, just hold it right there. Little. Flaps.
We got to look down the runway that time.
Helicopter 82 Charlie, taxiway Charlie, clear touch and go.
Clear touch and go, 82 Charlie.
Never saw him, did you?
Yeah, I did see him.
What?
Yeah, I just saw him.
The Coyote?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Cherokee 312, we just saw that Coyote's just left of the runway there, in the middle of the green field there.
Cherokee 312, Roger, I've got the Coyote in sight, and in fact, it looks like he's just on the edge now. Cessna 0 Charlie Lima, you copy, there's a Coyote, he's now crossing the runway in between November and Lima, it looks like he's on the runway, just to on the left side.
We don't actually have him in sight, we're at November here.
Roger, that Coyote is probably maybe 1,500 feet down to you, just crossing the runway now. See where the helicopter is? Just off to his right front.
We have him in sight, we'll just push him over that way.
Push him over that way. Alright, let's
Chandler Tower helicopter.
We'll make this a full stop.
Transition back to Charlie, or taxiway Charlie to re-enter the Charlie pattern.
Helicopter 15, taxiway Charlie, clear for takeoff, all company traffic on the upwind in the 180 pattern.
815 clear for takeoff, I will follow traffic, keep visual separation.
Chandler Tower 312 is going to be a full stop this time.
Cherokee 312, Roger. Helicopter Cessna 0 Charlie Lima, remain this frequency, hold short runway 22 right.
Hold short 22 right, Cessna 0 Charlie Lima.
Now I want to see the dog.
Yeah.
Cessna 0 Charlie Lima, continue taxiing cross runway 22 right without delay, traffic short finals in Cherokee.
Cross runway 22 right without delay, Cessna 0.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Cherokee 312, runway 22 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, 22 left, 312.
Cessna 0 Charlie Lima, contact ground, have a good day.
Contact ground, Cessna 0 Charlie Lima.
Cherokee 312, is that Coyote on the right side of the runway now?
Cherokee 312, that's affirmative. In fact, I think he's already passed 22 right.
Roger, thanks.
He's on the Bravo taxiway.
Thank you.
Coyote watch.
Cherokee 312, the Coyote's now on Bravo taxiway.
312, we'll keep an eye out for him, thanks.
Thank you.
Roger 4132 kilos on downwind.
Archer 32 kilo, runway 22 left, clear, touch and go. Your number 2, following the Cherokee. Turn and final.
Touch and go, runway 22 left, 4132 kilo.
Archer 32 kilo, pattern out to 2,200.
Yeah, we're trying 4132 kilo.
Right.
I said he's on taxiway Bravo?
That's what he said.
That's this one right here off our right. Poor little guy. Probably doesn't know where the hell he is right now.
Get himself chopped up if he's careful.
Helicopter 815, taxi Charlie.
I'll let it float up like that. Back down there.
815.
It's getting up there, and then it's getting real slow, and then we're just kind of floating in the wind. Operator.
Cherokee 312 remains frequency, hold short runway 22 right.
Stay on this frequency and hold short 22 right, 312.
Looks like the Coyote's crossing Papa right now.
Thank you.
Is he?
I just jumped on a Papa over there.
Okay, what's up? There's our people. He's doing what I do.
Cherokee 312, turn left on runway 22 right at Mike and taxi without delay and contact ground off today.
Left on 22 right, right on Mike without delay. 312.
So there you have it. In case you didn't know, we have a lot of coyotes in Arizona, and one of them wandered onto our runway this day. Made for an interesting few minutes in the pattern as everybody was suddenly on coyote watch. I don't actually know whatever became of the little guy, but I'm sure he just wandered back to wherever he came from without getting chopped up by some spinning metal. Let's hope so, anyway. So there's the reason for the title of the podcast. It didn't really have anything to do with a bar or a movie or anything that probably came to mind when you heard it. It's okay, though. I'm going to be a pilot.
I know I should by now. It isn't written in my stars. Shadows, dreams, at night, and dark. That sometimes seems just as far. I know so many things by now. I feel that never come to pass. Just childhood dreams of random things that still always surface.
Hello.
So
I'm starting a new podcast, Student Audio, and sometimes video about my endeavors as I learn to fly.
all doesn't matter much at all.
The music for today's audio cast is the song To Be an Angel from the great Canadian band Uncle Seth. You can get more information and subscribe to the Student Pilot Audiocast using iTunes, Zune, or any other podcatcher at www.studentpilotcast.com.